Hello everyone, and welcome to my third video on the Rose guitar. This video is really just kind of a summary or recap of where I'm at right now, and it's going to be show a time lapse of basically these little areas that I've carved on here. So it'll just kind of walk through. I'll make some comments as the time lapse goes through to kind of give you an idea of the process that I use, or technique rather, to carve the different sections. So not a ton of detail really. I just kind of took this video as I was doing it, so hopefully it can help some of you guys out. Alright, so the first thing you'll notice as I carve is I'm going to use my V gouges to essentially outline the section that I'm working on. So I'll go in with the V gouge and cut grooves to sort of outline the part, and then I'll go in with my scoop gouges and start removing the material, whether it's a concave or convex surface that I'm doing. But I'll just start to slowly shape it. I use several different size gouges. I've got a 12 millimeter one that I use quite often, all the way down to a 3 millimeter wide tip, and you'll see a close up of that one later on. But it does, having the different options definitely helps, but you don't need too many really. There's probably 3 or 4 that I use primarily, and then a couple of other ones for special circumstances. Okay, now this is one of my smaller gouges, so this is a 3 millimeter wide gouge, so you can see it's nice for going in and doing some of the fine detail work, especially if you're trying to clean up some of the edges and things like that. So I use this gouge quite a bit. It's very important to keep it super sharp. So what I don't show in the video is that after I cut on a certain section, I'll go in and use the strop to sharpen the gouge up and just hone the edge of it to make sure it's nice and sharp. Alright, so with that section done, the next section I'm doing is down here by the jack plate. It's this little kind of curled section. So again, you see me using the V-gouge. I'll go in and outline the edges, and that's what I'm doing right now. And then once that's done, I'll go in with my, with my spoon gouges. You can see there, that's my 12 millimeter wide one, and I'll start to shape the edges, start to sort of roll those corners, roll those edges around. Okay, so this is that small section is roughed out now. We'll go back in and sand all that down later, but for now it's kind of taking shape, or at least a good start on it. We'll go in and clean it up later. But next part that I'm doing here is the sort of large leaf up above the main flower. So this area is kind of tricky, trying to carve up around the top of the edge of the guitar. But again, this is the V gouge that I'm using here, just kind of cutting the veins into the leaf itself, and that's really just kind of, I'm using that as a guide. You'll see as you start to remove material, obviously your sketch, your pencil marks on the wood go away. So I go back in periodically and I add them back in just so I can make sure I'm kind of following my own sort of depth scheme that I've mapped out. So you'll see that pencil mark show up periodically. That's just because I've redrawn it on top of the area that I've already carved. Alright, so what you'll see here in this next part is, again, so as I carve away material, obviously the original cuts that I made with those V-gouges start to disappear or lose definition. So I go in and I'll repeatedly, effectively carve them deeper with sort of each pass. So hit it with the V-gouge, then sort of carve down to that relief depth, and then go back in with the V-gouge again and cut it down deeper so that sort of am able to follow the shape of the leaf. Alright, so there you have it. That's the first couple of sections are now complete, and I'll just keep working on this. I'll try to post videos a little bit more frequently as I do each section. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. I may try to tackle the large flower up in that upper left-hand corner next, just because I haven't tried one of the flowers yet, so I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out. Thanks for your time. Keep watching. Stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.